Our plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
We're back on the Yaffee program. I see some of you weighing in, of course, on our Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. One of the questions we had and what's trending was, is there a lifespan for the International Space Station? I figured there was, so someone weighed in and said it is scheduled for deorbit in 2031. So that's not too far away. It's not too far away. So there you go. There's the answer. The International Space Station scheduled for deorbit in 2031. Now, earlier on in the show, we were talking about this whole issue with Hilton Hotels, where it looks like the company, they're cutting ties with a franchise in Minneapolis. That particular hotel, the franchise anyway, decided to not allow ICE agents and other DHS agents to stay at their hotel. Why they thought they could get away with that, I don't know. It really just shows that some people in this country live in this left-wing bubble, and they just really thought they could. But, one person weighed in on the text line and said, they typically don't ask what agency you work for. It's normally state or local government, and they always want to tell you that they don't have any rooms. Therefore, that particular property knew exactly what they were doing. Of course it did. I mean, it seems like they were pretty open about it, honestly. It doesn't seem like it was that controversial when it comes to that. So there you go. It really does amaze me. It amazes me that you had a hotel think, okay, we're going to refuse service, refuse rooms to ICE agents, and there are going to be no consequences? You really thought the Trump administration was just going to be quiet about it? Now, as I mentioned earlier, there were some Alabama officials who commented on this. In fact, Tuberville was one of them. Go ahead if you can, Walker. We'll play the audio again here. Play the Tuberville cut for me.
You can understand some independent agency doing this, and I don't know whether Hilton had anything to do with it or not. But obviously, they're going to have to get all their ducks in a row when it comes to this, because this can't happen. I mean, this is a free country. This cannot happen. We have to treat everybody the same in this country.
All right. So, I mean, that's what he thinks. Yesterday I talked about it, but I can say it again, where Attorney General Steve Marshall said that this is what he said, and he's right. Nothing says support for the rule of law like refusing service to federal officers enforcing our border laws. In Alabama, we stand with law enforcement and not political stunts that undermine public safety. It really is an amazing thing that all ICE is doing is enforcing immigration law. That we got to such a point in this country when it came to the open border, when it came to illegal immigration, that now when you have an administration that just merely decides to enforce the law, somehow that is compared to Nazism, and then hotels are going to refuse service. They really thought that the right thing to do was to just have an open border. They really think that the right thing to do is just to allow illegal immigrants to come in, to stay in. They can never be deported, and if you try to enforce the law, that's it. Trump is exactly right when he says, you don't have a country if you don't have a border. Now, we have a process. We have a legitimate process when it comes into allowing immigrants. We're one of the most welcoming countries in the world, doing it the legal way. But when you have an illegal immigration system and a wide open border, you're discouraging the process too. And by the way, this works in more situations than the border. We're seeing it right now with marijuana, I hate to say. We have federal laws against the use of recreational marijuana. We have now decided as a country that, we're just not going to enforce it. We're just not going to worry about it. So what happens if an administration comes in and decides, we're actually going to enforce this? We're going to call them names, but that's the law. If you have a problem with it, change the law. But it's like that in so many other cases. The reason why you can have a crime problem in certain areas is you create a culture where the criminals can get away with things. And if you're not enforcing the law and you're not really throwing the book at the people like you can, they have the ability to do this. You know, before Trump was put in under the Biden administration, I said this even before Biden, but you will look at certain things in this country that are happening in this country. And I would say something pretty simple. It doesn't have to be this way. When you were looking at high gas prices, it doesn't have to be that way. When you were looking at high inflation, it didn't have to be that way. When you were looking at the open border, it doesn't have to be that way. And on it goes. High crime areas. We're finding out in Washington, D.C. and in Memphis, the high crime there, it didn't have to be that way. We don't have to just accept those things as the new normal. It just takes real leadership to actually enforce the law and take action. When it came to problems in the Middle East, a lot of that was we just assumed it has to be that way. Trump kind of proved it doesn't have to be that way. So when you look at other things we need to solve, whether it's the price of healthcare, the price of housing, the issues in our college system, we can just say, well, that's just the way it is. But a lot of this is proof that, no, it doesn't have to be that way. There are solutions to these problems. There just has to be the will to solve the problems. So there you go. At least here with this whole Hilton situation, it looks like Hilton Hotels has cut ties with this franchisee, which is really good. And the Alabama delegation was right about that. By the way, earlier on in the show, I did speak with Congressman Barry Moore, who's running for the U.S. Senate. He had commented on that. And I wrote about a lot of this at YellowHammerNews.com, so you can check it out right there, YellowHammerNews.com, or follow me on X at Yaffee or like the Yaffee Facebook page, and I'm posting stuff there all the time. Appreciate you listening to the show. The podcast of the show is up at WVNN.com. Appreciate you listening. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. See you then.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The Inside of You podcast.
You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Let's get inside of Sebastian Maniscalco.
This whole podcasting thing, right?
I was doing it before every actor and their mother wanted a podcast.
Did you wake up one day and go, I gotta talk to people? You're an actor.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
How do we make...
It happened by accident. I had no idea people would start listening. But when you're genuine, that's what attracts people.
The Inside of You podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Get ready for The Rush with Max Crosby.
If it was going to happen, why not this year?
All-pro defensive end Max Crosby takes you beyond the field with exclusive insights.
I love when people sleep, uncertain people, because you just know they're going to make everyone look stupid.
Moments everyone's talking about.
Hit 5 in a row, brother. We're going to the Pro Bowl again.
Come on, baby!
Been through a lot, and we're just getting rolling.
The Rush.
It's a roller coaster of emotions.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.